It was rubbish collection day, and Rowdy the garbage truck was ready. He picked up the pile of rubbish and tipped it into his container. He did this with every pile. But what he didn't know was that the rubbish was leaking out all over the road. He finished his job, but it had only made things worse. A few minutes later, Pocoyo drove by, but didn't get very far. "This place is a mess," he said. Peppa and Danny then arrived. "What happened here?" asked Peppa. "We need to clear this up," said Pocoyo. "I know who can help us," said Danny. Soon, Peppa, Danny, Olaf, Masha and the bear, Pato and Ellie were all clearing up the mess. They took the rubbish to Orange Guy the trash can. But they couldn't reach him. "Let's use these launchers," said Olaf. "That's a good idea," agreed Peppa. "Good shot," said Peppa. Soon they were all having a go. They then made a game out of it. Unfortunately, most of the rubbish missed the bin. The road was mostly clear, but the area around the bin was a mess. Rubbish was everywhere. Pocoyo arrived. "What happened here?" he asked. "We're clearing up," everyone said. "But this place is a mess. We need help." Soon enough, Sam, Philip and Chuck arrived. "Blimey, what happened here?" asked Sam. "Let's get to work," said Philip. So they did. "Well done, everyone," said Sam. The town was spotless, but everyone was exhausted.
One day, Diesel 10 was in a particularly annoying mood. First, he got Toby. Unfortunately, Toby was carrying fireworks. Then he got Thomas, who was carrying jam. As soon as Thomas saw the tree, he braked hard, which sent the jam flying. He was covered in jam. Then Diesel got Billy and his chickens. Oh dear. Finally, he got Percy. What Diesel 10 didn't realise though, was that a rock had fallen onto the track. The rock broke Diesel 10's brakes. So he drove straight off the track. He really was in trouble now. Sir Topham Hatt soon arrived. "You've been a very naughty engine, haven't you?" he said. "Yes," Diesel sulked. "I'm sorry." "Okay," said Sir Topham Hatt. "We'll get you fixed." So he called the digging rigs. Chip cut the rocks around Diesel. Philip scooped them up. And Chuck carried them off. Victor then brought Rocky, and they pulled Diesel back onto the track. Diesel was then put on a truck and carried off to get fixed. So Diesel 10 learnt his lesson. Well, we hope so anyway.
Queen Elsa and Princess Anna were preparing the castle for their Christmas party. Today, they were collecting the Christmas puddings that Princess Sophia agreed to make for them. They had invited a lot of people to the party, so they needed a lot of puddings. Snow lay everywhere, but the railway tracks were clear for Thomas. arrived at Princess Sophia's castle, they went to ring the doorbell. Princess Sophia answered the door and invited Queen Elsa and Princess Anna inside. Thomas turned round ready for the return journey. And there he waited and waited. While he was waiting, it started snowing heavily. All he could hear was chitter-chatter, chitter-chatter, chitter-chatter coming from inside the castle. He wished he brought his snowplow now. Eventually, the doors opened and Queen Elsa and Princess Anna started loading Princess Sophia's puddings into Thomas's truck. They said goodbye and started their journey in the snow. All was going well until Thomas turned a corner and saw a snowdrift across the track. He hit the drift and the sudden jolt was enough to turn over the truck of puddings. There were puddings everywhere. Luckily, Queen Elsa and Princess Anna were okay, but they needed to get the truck back on the rails. Thomas, who really wished he'd had his snowplow on, told them not to worry. Help was on its way. After a short, snowy while, Digging Rigs Chomper and Philip arrived. Chomper lifted the truck back on the rails, but thought he'd squashed too many puddings moving them, so Queen Elsa and Princess Anna put the puddings back in the truck. Philip cleared the snowdrift from Thomas. "You should wear your plough next time, Thomas," said Philip. "Thank you," said Thomas, and they left. The track ahead was clear, and Thomas continued his journey back to the castle. is a mermaid. She loves swimming in the open sea. But sadly, she no longer can. She's now stuck in this tank of water, a long way from the sea. It all happened on a lovely sunny day. Marina had come up to the surface to take in the sun, and an evil witch, who was in a very bad mood that day, saw her and cast a spell on her, which immediately moved her to this tank of water a long way away. Marina is now very lonely and longs to be back swimming with her mermaid friends, although she has a sinking feeling in her heart that she never would. Then one day, Cinderella was having a train ride out in the countryside when she came upon Marina in her tank. "Hello," said Cinderella. "We don't see many mermaids in the countryside." "No," said Marina. "A wicked witch cast a spell on me and took me away from the sea. Can you help me, please?" Cinderella thought and came up with a plan. "Leave it to me," she said, and she left on James. "Oh, I do hope Cinderella can help me," said Marina. After a while, a very large crane arrived. "Hello, I'm Buster," said the crane. James and Cinderella returned. Buster raised his crane arm as far as he could, but it wasn't enough to reach the top of the tank. "Oh no," said Marina, "and even if I did get out, I need water to keep me alive." Cinderella's plan wasn't working. But then she said, "I've got another idea. Be back soon." Buster lowered his arm and moved away from the tank, and another vehicle appeared. "Hello, I'm Chomper," said Chomper. "Cinderella sent me." And with that, he got straight to work. He moved the nearby fallen trees nearer the tank, making a ramp out of them. Cinderella then returned on James, who was pulling a large blue truck that was filled with water. "Right, we're ready," said Cinderella, and Buster started reversing up the ramp of trees. He then raised his arm, which was now able to extend over the tank thanks to Chomper's work. With a quick flick of her tail, Marina kicked for the surface and managed to grab Buster's arm. Buster moved his arm away from the tank, and James moved the tank-filled truck into position. Marina let go and with a splash landed in the truck. "Thank you everyone," she said. "Let's get you back to the sea," said Cinderella, and they left. "Marina," said Cinderella, "I've got a friend I want you to meet." And they pulled up at a castle by the sea. It was Princess Ariel. "Come into my castle," said Princess Ariel, and they managed to get Marina in. "How would you like to be a mermaid as well?" said Princess Ariel to Cinderella. "I'd love to," she said. With a flurry of magic, the two of them changed into mermaids. "Follow me," said Princess Ariel. And they all slid down the slide into the sea.
There was a storm brewing on Sodor. The engines were busy, hoping the worst of the storm would miss them. The rain started, and the storm was getting nearer. Then there was trouble. A bolt of lightning struck the track on top of the bridge. The track came apart and the ballast under the rails fell onto the track below. Percy was just about to pass, saw the ballast, braked but couldn't stop. He left the rails, almost saved himself, then toppled over. Poor Percy. By chance, Thomas came along on the other track. "Percy, are you all right?" "Yes, just the wrong way up," said Percy. "I'll get some help," said Thomas. "Oh dear," said a passing Gordon. Thomas went to warn Gordon. "Gordon, don't!" But it was too late. Gordon had derailed on the bridge. It was lucky the track didn't collapse and bring Gordon crashing to the ground, but he was stuck. "Don't just stand there, Thomas," shouted Gordon. "Go and get some help." Thomas steamed off. On another part of the island, the Paw Patrol Lookout Centre were keeping watch, and their periscope had found the accident. "I think your services may be required here, Rubble," said Marshall. Thomas came steaming along, pulling Rocky the crane. The storm had now passed. They pulled up by Percy. "We'll get you up right, Percy," said Rocky. "What about me?" said Gordon. "No, not you yet," said Thomas. "We need to move Percy first, just in case you fall on him while you're being moved." "How reassuring," said Gordon. Thomas moved Rocky into position. Rocky and Thomas together were strong. "Hurry up," shouted Gordon again. Very soon, Percy was back on the rails and left. Thomas steamed round to Gordon. "OK, Gordon, we're ready now, except we can't reach you. But don't worry, help is on the way," and with that they moved back. Help was indeed on the way in the shape of the massive digging rig's crane Buster. Buster arrived and got into position. His arm pushed the track that Gordon was on upwards. With Buster supporting the track, Gordon could move off the bridge. He came round and thanked Buster and then continued on his journey. Buster used his welding attachment to repair the track. Thomas thanked Buster and off he went. "We just need to clear the track now," said Thomas to Rocky. And at that moment, Rubble arrived in his bulldozer. Thomas told him what had to be done, and he set to work. The track was soon cleared. Thomas thanked Rubble. Rubble left, and with everything now cleared up, Thomas left with Rocky.